You know, we've all heard the stories about the almost superhuman power of Shaolin monks, right? Feats that seem to just defy human limits. Well, today, we're going to unlock one of their most intense secrets, the brutal, systematic training that literally transforms human shins into weapons of incredible power. This line, right here, it's from an authentic Shaolin training manual, and it just sets the stage perfectly. This isn't just about exercise, it's a journey towards what they call invincibility, forging your own body into something else entirely. All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the core idea, the legs of steel wire. Then, we'll get into the very first, very painful kicks. After that, we'll see how they ramp up the intensity. Then, and this is the really cool part, we'll uncover the secret healing formula that makes this all possible. And finally, we'll understand the incredible goal behind all this pain. Okay, so this whole journey begins with a foundational Shaolin art called kicking wooden poles. This is a classic example of what they call external gong fu, training that's all about developing just unbelievable physical external power. And the goal? Well, it's about as simple and direct as it gets, to systematically harden your own shins and legs through thousands and thousands of impacts, turning them into weapons that can both deliver and withstand just a tremendous amount of force. And the equipment for this, it couldn't be simpler. You just take one wooden pole, about as thick as a soup bowl, and you sink it into the ground with stone so it doesn't move. That's it. This one unassuming object is both your training partner and your opponent. So how does this actually start? You know, every master was once a beginner, and for this particular art, the journey kicks off with one absolute certainty: a whole lot of pain. This image from the manual shows you that very first step. The monk faces the pole and just strikes it with the outside of their shin. It is a direct, bone-on-wood impact, and you do it over and over and over again. Once you've started to condition the outside of the shin, the training moves on. This illustration shows the next part, the side kick. Now you're targeting a totally different angle of the leg. The idea is to comprehensively harden every single surface that you could possibly use as a weapon. And let's be really, really clear about this. The manuals are explicit. Pain, swelling, and deep, ugly bruising are not just risks, they are guaranteed. They're part of the process. The only way you move forward is to just push right through it. This is as much a test of your mind as it is your body. Now, if that beginning part sounds brutal, the next phase is where this training really enters a whole other realm. The intensity just escalates dramatically. So here you can see the whole regimen coming together. Practitioners add in inside kicks and front kicks, making sure that absolutely no part of the lower leg is left unconditioned. Every possible angle you could use for an attack or a defense is hardened through thousands of repetitions. I mean, the numbers here are just mind-blowing. A beginner, they might start with maybe 100 kicks a day, but to get to mastery, a monk has to deliver 1,000 to 2,000 kicks against that solid wooden pole every single day. Okay, so this leads to the big question, right? How does the human body not just completely fall apart under that kind of stress? Well, the answer lies in this secret combination of martial arts and traditional Chinese medicine. No, seriously, think about that for a second. That kind of constant trauma should cause stress fractures, permanent nerve damage, you name it. But instead, these monks actually grow stronger. So, how? The key is this, the Gung Fu leg wash formula. It's a really powerful medicinal soak, made from a very precise mix of over a dozen herbs, with stuff like aconite root, angelica root, and speransky. So the crucial thing to understand is this isn't just some pain reliever. The formula is actually designed to pull out toxins, dramatically boost blood flow to the damaged area, and, get this, strengthen the bones themselves. It allows the body to regenerate faster and stronger than it's being broken down. It is literally a cycle of destruction and rebirth every single day. So, after all that, after years of pain, thousands of daily kicks, and countless hours soaking in this herbal formula, what's the result? Why on earth would anyone endure such an impossible regimen? Well, it turns out the wooden pole was never the real opponent. It was just the tool, the whetstone, used to sharpen a human weapon. The true purpose is to develop a leg so unbelievably powerful that it can shatter solid objects. And how solid are we talking? The standard, the benchmark for a master of this art, is the ability to break a stone that weighs 200 jin. That's about 220 pounds, or 100 kilograms. Think about that. A single kick with a human leg breaks a rock that big. And this image, it really captures that final, explosive expression of power. Look at the form. It's a technique that's engineered to channel every ounce of the body's momentum and condition strength into one single, devastating point of impact. The legendary Shaolin master Sing Cho, he put it like this. He said that after you complete this training, a single kick from you would terrify even a fierce tiger. It's a poetic way of describing a level of power that just goes way beyond normal human fighting. And the old texts, they get very specific about how this is used. They say a master's kick could shatter an opponent's bones and tendons, and that the sheer force of the impact could send a person flying backwards, even if they managed to get a block in the way. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? The ability to break stone is obviously incredible. But maybe the real achievement isn't the physical power itself. Maybe it's the unimaginable discipline and spirit you have to build to get there. So what's more valuable, the weapon or the will that forged it?